On September 23rd, at Holy Cross Baptist Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a bride was stabbed to death at the altar in front of 50 guests, and the killer turned out to be the groom's mother. Kira LaJoy woke up in her old room on the second floor of her parents' house long before dawn. It was still dark outside, but she couldn't sleep anymore. Her heart was beating fast and loud, as if trying to escape from her chest. Tomorrow, no, today, she would become the wife of Darius Collins, the man she had loved for the past 5 years, the man for whom she was willing to do anything. She turned on her side and looked at the wedding dress hanging on the closet door. The snow-white silk shimmered softly in the pre-dawn twilight, and Kira felt a warm excitement spread through her. This was her day. The day she had dreamed of ever since Darius proposed to her last spring on the shore of the lake, where they had kissed for the first time. Kira got out of bed and walked to the window. Tulsa was slowly waking up. The streets of their quiet neighborhood were empty, with only a few streetlights illuminating the neat lawns and tall oak trees. The LaJoy house was located in one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city, where wealthy African-American families had lived for several generations. Her father, Jerome, had built a transportation business from scratch, and her mother, Ruth, had turned a small grocery store into a chain of 12 locations across Oklahoma. They had given Kira everything: an education, stability, confidence in the future. But now, standing at the window and looking out at the empty street, Kira felt a strange uneasiness. It was as if something inside her knew that this day would not go as smoothly as she had hoped. She pushed the thought away and went to the bathroom. She had to get ready. Today, she had to be perfect. By 9 o'clock in the morning, the house was bustling with activity. Ruth LaJoy, an energetic 58-year-old woman with short hair and attentive brown eyes, was already giving orders downstairs, checking guest lists and calling the organizers. Her voice came from downstairs, clear and confident, and Kira smiled involuntarily. Her mother always knew how to keep everything under control. Tiana Rycroft, her best friend from college, burst into Kira's room. Tiana worked as a nurse at St. Francis Hospital and was always there for her at important moments. "Bride!" Tiana exclaimed, throwing the door wide open. "Are you ready for the most important day of your life?" Kira turned away from the mirror, where she was fixing her hair, and smiled. "I don't know. I think so. But I'm so nervous, Tiana. My hands have been shaking since this morning." Tiana walked over and hugged her friend around the shoulders. "That's normal. All brides are nervous. But you're marrying Darius, and he's the best man in the world. You're made for each other." Kira nodded, but something tightened inside her. Tiana didn't know. No one knew what had happened 10 years ago, about that night that Kira had tried so hard to forget. "Let's try the dress on again," Tiana suggested, heading for the closet. "Your mother wants to make sure everything fits perfectly." Ruth came upstairs a few minutes later, carrying a tray with tea and toast. "Kira, sweetheart, you have to eat. The ceremony starts at 2 o'clock and you won't have time to eat later." Kira obediently took the toast, even though she didn't feel like eating at all. Her stomach was in knots from nervousness. Ruth sat down on the edge of the bed and looked closely at her daughter. "You look pale. Are you all right?" "Yes, Mom. I'm just nervous." Ruth smiled gently. "You know, I was nervous on my wedding day too. I thought I would trip on my way to the altar or forget my vows. But when I saw your father, all my fears disappeared. You'll see Darius and realize that everything is right." Kira nodded, trying to smile. Her mother had no idea that her daughter's nerves weren't about the ceremony. Tiana carefully took the dress off the hanger. "Let's try it on. I want to make sure all the seams are in place after the last fitting." Kira stood up and let her friend and mother help her into the dress. The silk felt cool against her skin, and when Tiana fastened the last button at the back, Kira turned to face the large mirror. She looked like a bride from a magazine. The dress fit her figure perfectly, emphasizing her waist and flowing smoothly to the floor. The neckline was modest, the sleeves long and elegant. Kira had always wanted a dress like this. Elegant, without excess. "You're beautiful," Ruth whispered, her eyes filling with tears. "My girl is getting married." Tiana hugged Kira from the side, Darius will be speechless when he sees you. Kira looked at her reflection and tried to imagine herself walking down the aisle of the church, Darius waiting for her at the altar with his gentle smile. He was a good man, honest, kind, loving. He deserved better. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Jerome Lajoie, a tall man with graying temples and a calm gaze, peered inside. "May I come in?" "Dad!" Kira turned to him. Jerome entered and paused, looking at his daughter. "My God, Kira. You look—" He couldn't finish his sentence, and Ruth laughed softly, wiping her eyes. "Don't make me cry anymore, Jerome." Her father approached and gently kissed Kira on the forehead. "I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. You've become a wonderful woman, and Darius is a good guy. He'll take good care of you." Kira hugged her father, feeling a lump rise in her throat. "Thank you, Dad." Jerome stepped back and looked at his wife. "Ruth, the phone is ringing downstairs. I think it's Evelina Collins. She wants to talk to Kira." Kira froze. Evelina. Darius's mother. Ruth frowned. "Evelyn? Now? We saw each other yesterday at rehearsal. What does she want to talk about?" Jerome shrugged. "I don't know. She said it was important. She asked me to tell Kira to come to the phone." Kira felt her heart beat faster. Something was wrong. Evelina never called just to call, especially on the eve of the wedding. "I'll be right down," Kira said quietly. Tiana helped her out of her dress, and Kira threw on a robe. She went downstairs, where the phone was lying on the table in the living room. Kira picked up the receiver with a trembling hand. "Hello?" "Kira, it's Evelina." The voice on the other end was cold and even. "I need to talk to you. In person. Now." "Evelina, we're getting ready for the wedding. Maybe it can wait until—" "No, it can't." Evelina's voice was steely. "This concerns tomorrow. It concerns you and my son. I'll be there in 15 minutes. And the line went dead. Kira slowly put down the phone. Her hands were shaking more